children will be continuing with their Read, Write, Ink lessons. They will continue to learn new sounds to then blend together to read and write words. They will use their thread fingers to spell, so we put one sound on each finger. So if we take the word sheep, we would say, how many thread fingers? So the children would hold up 3. There are 3 sounds, sh, e, p. We will also be focusing on trying to choose the correct sound. The children have learnt lots of different ways of spelling one sound. So, for example, if we look at the sound A, it can be just an A, it can be A-Y, it can be A-I, and there are lots of different ways of spelling it. So it's now about choosing the correct way to do it. That is quite tricky, so it's just practice. We would continue to practice. In our English lessons this half term, we will be looking at our sentence structure and making sure we are using capital letters at the beginning, finger spaces all the way through, and then punctuation at the end. We will be looking at different types of sentences. So we'll be looking at questions, commands, exclamations, and statements, and choosing the correct punctuation to put at the end of those sentences. We will also be learning about nouns and adjectives, and knowing that a noun is an object, a place or a thing, and that an adjective is a describing word. It's how we describe a noun. So we will then be creating noun phrases. Now a noun phrase is simply an adjective followed by a noun. So it could be the blue butterfly, or we could have 2 adjectives followed by a noun. So the black pointy flag.
In maths this half term, we'll be looking at place value and addition. We'll be looking at these within 1 and 2 digit numbers, working up to representing numbers to 100. We will be looking quite deeply into place value, so the children are able to recognise and create numbers in a variety of ways up to 100 before we begin using this later on in the half term to add numbers up to 100. To practice this at home, you could give children concrete resources so they're able to count and to add using objects to support their learning.
During our math lessons, we use a range of resources to help the children learn. For example, today our number is 22, and we know we have 2 10s and 2 1s. We use a tens and ones place values grid, so we know that in our 10s we have 2, and in our 1s we also have 2. And we can write this as 2 10s and 2 1s. And we know 2 10s and 2 1s make 22. We also use a part-whole model. So again, we know our number is 22, so we represent this using resources. Then we can separate these in different ways in our part-whole model. So we can separate them from the 10s and the 1s, leaving us with 20 and 2. Or we could experiment with how we separate them. We could leave it into 10 and 12 and know that they create 22. Or we could try 11 and 11 and know that they make 22. We can also do these processes backwards, so we give the children a certain amount of numbers and they have to add them together to create the total number. We can also represent this number using base 10 equipment, or we could use tens frames to create them. So we've got 10 and a 10 and a 2, and we know that makes 22. And we also have 10 and 10 and 2, and that creates 22. The different ways that we are able to make these numbers help the children when it comes to addition and subtraction and different functions, to help them have a range of ways to solve number problems.
Also in maths this half term, we'll begin looking at reasoning and problem solving questions, including word problems. This will help the children use the knowledge that they've learned in maths to be able to work out real world problems and support them for when their SATs come around. Our topic this half term is called Land Ahoy, and through this topic we'll be looking at pirates and a pirate's way of life. The children will learn about significant individuals, navigational skills, and human and physical geographical features. To help with this at home, you could look into the lives of famous pirates, and maybe the children could read about them or watch videos and bring to school some facts about famous pirates such as Blackbeard, Mary Read or Anne Bonny. You could also look at maps together if you're going on a walk or if you are travelling somewhere, being able to read maps and see different features of maps, as we'll be looking in this at school too.